Joe Zikas from NorthfieldBuzz. Those birds are chirping out there, guys. Tell me where we are and who I'm with here.
You have Linda Martin in the back seat from Caldwell Banker in Winnetka, one of your sponsors, and
Bonnie Larson in the front seat.
Hi, Bonnie.
NorthfieldBuzz. Hi, Joe. We're taking you north on Thornwood Lane, just off of Old Willow in Northfield. And again, beautiful homes, beautiful day. It's thickly wooded, so it might not be quite as bright as some of the other ones we were just filming, like Rolling Ridge, but just a serene environment. You can hear those birdies, peaceful, quiet.
this is a pretty convenient place to live, though, in that you can get to it either from Old Willow or you can get to it from Hap versus cutting across near Wagner or Sunset Ridge. So some people really find this, it's so convenient to walk to schools for the kids.
The Hyde Park Day School is almost right at the end of this lane, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's renting a spot from the church, St. Philip's Church, because I think their school is no longer in operation right now.
And it's part of the University of Chicago lab school system, I think, too.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
End of the line.
It's a nice, small, quiet lane. Fairly easy to maneuver.
That's a McCartney song, isn't it? The end of the line?
Not too many spurs off this lane like some of the other ones we've came. And there haven't been very many homes listed on this in the last couple years. Are
there lots occasionally available here? It looks like that might be a lot that might someday be for sale.
It could be, but not often. There isn't really too much land left. There might be some over on Suffolk that I recently saw. A house that was on like 2 acres or 2 lots.
Well, I have 2 listings that could be considered lots. One at 838 Camden in Northfield for $959, and the other one at 2262 Drury for $1,235,000. Both, one of them is 1.2 or 3 plus acres, and the other one is 2.3 acres.
So it's possible.
It is possible.
Are people looking at teardowns in that price range in some cases?
Yes, there are some, and as long as you have a survey, we have a survey on both properties. They can take it to the village, and one of the people at the village that's been exceedingly helpful, his name is Tony, but everybody there is able to help in the right department and give you some information about what you can build on the properties. Anywhere in Northfield, they can tell you that.
And here's Briar Lane.
Now, I had been told recently by a developer in Winnetka, who shall go unnamed, that Winnetka has become very difficult on new construction building permits. Do you have any kind of fix on what it's like in Northfield, or does that vary?
Oh, there's a horse.
I don't know if
I don't to look at. There's a place that actually has a horse, because it's so rare that you actually have horses that you see here in Northfield. So since we've talked about that, I got distracted.
Northfield allows them, right?
Yeah, Northfield does allow them.
I wouldn't say that people are up in arms about tear downs in Northfield the way they are in some of the other communities like Kenilworth.
There appears to be a lot available for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Listed with Caldwell Banker.
Listed with Caldwell Banker.
And there's an interesting little street. I sold one house off of that, and there's a house currently listed on Lori Lane.
I mean, we are really out in the country
here. Yeah, we are. It's beautifully, the houses are really nicely sited here.
You might find the house of your dreams back in here.
If I can find one that's elegant enough.
Well, it won't hit your $1 million price range here, although there is one on Lori Lane for under $900,000.
You mean it'd be over your $1 million budget?
Over your $1 million.
Out of my $1 million price range.
This house sold about 3 or 4 years ago, but it took over a year to sell. And now we're at a tennis court. Actually, years ago, we designed the landscaping in the tennis court at this house.
I believe we're at the end of the line here, too.
And the house that you're filming in now, this actually was transaction by families that had known each other for many, many years and never even came on the market.
Came on the market. So would I get a discount on the brokerage commission if I hired Martin Associates to do my landscaping?
No, Joe. You
That's an
get
Orrin,
excellent service from all parties involved.
that's an Orrin Piquel home, it looks like, who's one of the well-known custom home builders on the North Shore.
And does a lot of remodeling.
Yeah,
And
there's
does
a remodeling.
remodelings also, yep.
He actually has a site, maybe we'll visit sometime in Northfield, called Imagine, where you can actually see lots of rooms and things that they are, trends in construction and remodeling that they are illustrating right over on Willow.
Right next to Starbucks.
Right next to stuff.
We should visit the Northfield restaurant too. It's kind of a classic spot.
That's a good breakfast spot too. You'll see a lot of Northfield people.
It's an unusual example of Nouveau Moorish style of architecture.
Yeah, Nouveau Moorish.
Moorish.
But most of the rest of the houses are more traditional looking, shingles and bricks and split rail fences. That was cute. Did you get that English timber barn? This looks like an original farmhouse. There might be a story here back in Northfield if we did some research.
Oh, I'm sure there are plenty
There are a million
of
stories here.
This has just been one of them.
Maybe we should show where this Hyde Park School is, since you mentioned it. We're so
I think
close.
you already got
That you
pictures of
mentioned
it.
is the most, the highest priced home currently.
4.3 million in Northfield currently. And here we have a listing that's a little bit under $1.3 million.
Just a gut. Will it sell for 4.3 or somewhere around there?
You know, we can never comment on that.
You can't comment on that. Okay.
You just never know. You
They
can
have Frisbee golf here in Willow Park in Northfield. Now this is an interesting, go down here a little bit because actually years ago I sold a house over here on Heather Terrace.
These streets are all so narrow.
And you would never imagine that this existed right off of Old Willow.
right.
And there's
Heather
little
Terrace.
spurs with a number of properties here. My clients actually added a second floor to their house and a couple of kids.
Are you surprised to see all these little private lanes, Joe?
I knew they were here. I haven't traversed them. What surprises me is just how wooded they are, how narrow they are in many cases. And they're not all private, are they? Is this?
No, they aren't all private, but there are a lot of them. See, this is like a little
But
bicycle
certainly
lane, so
if
you
you
can
want-
get through to Lorry Lane.
If you want a place where your kids can play uninterrupted by traffic, Northfield has tons of these.
Just have to figure out how to get out of here.